Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sup featuring guests, because Carrie, as you guys know, is out of town, but that doesn't stop us. With me today, I'm so excited, is a favorite person of mine. Real heads know him from Saving Sex and the City 3. Yeah. Other heads know him from just being a true hairstylist extraordinaire. You are doing wig styling. You're taking old products from yesteryear, trying them out. You're covering all grounds.
Listen, Sup has hit a new low that you're having people in the service industry on the show, but that's okay. Next it's literally going to be a gardener, and that's okay. I know my station in life.
A hair waiter.
Essentially that's what I am. But I'm so happy to be here. This is our first time meeting IRL.
I know, we've been just URL this whole time and Zoom, but now we're taking it face to face.
Yeah.
Clayton Hawkins, everyone, for those who don't know, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, this is such an honor. I've listened to you for years, since the old Babe days.
Wow.
So, and yeah, our Saving Sex in the City episode, I think any episode of Saving Sex in the City that you did would certainly have been better than what we got.
It would have been more entertaining.
I haven't watched the past 3 episodes.
You've given up?
I haven't given up, but it's made me really sad to watch it this year. I get tired instantly.
Deeply saddening.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would watch it week to week if I didn't talk about it somewhat for a living, but it's a devastating
But I do still
glimpse.
love it. And I miss Che.
It.
Do you miss Che?
I actually don't.
Oh, see, I miss Che. To me, Che was kind of like the Jar Jar Binks of the Sex and the City universe, where the big swing, it's everybody's coming back home. It's 20 years later. And then you're like, what's happening? But then as the years went by, I kind of miss Jar Jar too. I'm like, let's have some fun.
I could maybe get back into Che if I dip my toe into watching seasons 1 and 2 again. I think I might drum up some nostalgia for them, but I'm going to save that until I really need it.
Give it a couple years and you definitely will have some rose-colored Che nostalgia.
But the current state of the And Just Like That union is a devastating glimpse of what it means to get older.
I know, it makes me not want to get old.
It makes me not want to get old. It makes me not want to have kids. I think even the writers seem to be suffering from a dementia of sorts. And it's really fascinating. What you have missed is that there was a major continuity.
I've seen that. And that definitely was tough. But I mean, Sex and the City when I was young made me want to be old so bad. It made me want to be 40. And I love the movies too. I love Sex and the City 2 in particular. I'm
Sex and the City 2 is canon.
Sex and the City 2 is literally it's almost like an old Wile E. Coyote cartoon. It is a full-on cartoon, and I adore it.
It is genre bending.
It's genre bending.
And truth be told, I think the buck should have stopped there. What we're realizing now,
right?
But we need what we need, and I actually need Sex in this, or whatever it's called, and Just Like That. I'm gonna call it Sex in the City 3 to go on in perpetuity for 17 seasons.
Well, here's what I really think is going to happen. This is a prediction because honestly, we've run out of IP, we've run out of original ideas. I could see in 20 years when the women are actually in their older years, I think all 4 are going to come back in 20 years. I think we're going to have style. Sex in the City again. Sex in the City with all 4 girls in 20 years. Maybe. And all the hatchets will be buried.
I think that's a great prediction. I support it. And I also support, because you know how in nursing homes everyone's fucking?
Yes.
Finally, they'll have some sex on Sex in the City and and Just Like That.
And some laughs.
How about
a laugh? It was a sitcom, and now each episode is 58 minutes, and anyway.
It's a dramatic, I'm crying.
But I also say all this to say is that Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker can do whatever they want with these characters, because they have given us, they've brought me so much joy in my life that really they can do whatever they want with these characters, and that is their prerogative.
Yeah, I urge them, like, don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Like, please keep on keeping on.
Keep going, yeah.
Will I like it all the time? Probably not.
But that's, you know what?
I appreciate it.
And maybe I'd rather that than them doing like a Fuller House, cheap, sort of like, you know, just hitting the nail on the head, giving us basically a reboot. Like, they're taking big artistic swings that we have to like embrace. And I did listen to one of the Writers Room podcasts, and he's like, whatever you want us to do, we're not going to do that. And there is something kind of like punk rock about that.
They are avant-garde, and it's safe to say that no one is doing it like they're doing it.
For real, because everyone else is just like, let's be a crowd pleaser. Let's just
respect the character's legacy. Let's like honor the legacy that we laid the groundwork of.
This is what the audience is going to be so happy seeing, and they're like, I don't care.
They're like, no.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too, actually. I'm gonna get back into it.
Okay. In other news, Denise Richards' husband, Crazy Aaron, the crystal enthusiast, has filed for divorce.
So he filed
against her.
Against her, okay.
And is asking for spousal support.
God, he's a gorgeous, gorgeous man.
I mean, I understood why Denise was attracted to him. I was watching her show for a little bit, Denise Richards and Her Wild Things.
Yeah, I saw the pilot.
But I fell off of it quickly. But maybe I now need to get back into it.
It almost felt like it was such an air. I just saw the first episode. It was so airy. It almost felt like it evaporated off my screen. Like, I saw it, but I didn't really see it.
Yeah.
It was like a mist of a show.
It was a complete mist of a show.
But I gotta say, and as we talk about The Valley later, it's gonna be a lot of me saying, God, these guys are gorgeous. But look at this man. I mean, I could see myself sitting in a fire pit, fully agreeing with him about 5G towers and like having him convince me to like get off the grid. Like, there is something about him.
There's something about a man that could pick you up and like throw you through a wall.
No one's ever picked me up or thrown me through a wall at any weight class that I've been in. And I feel like I do need that to happen at a certain point.
And if someone's going to do it, it's going to be Aaron.
I want him to knock all the crystals off a table and just throw me up there.
Yeah. So I wish them well.
I wish them well. Don't you love her?
I love her.
I think she should come back to Housewives.
I think so too. Lisa Rinna's off.
I think that we need her on the show. And I really loved what she brought, which was like the lack of glam and just her like no makeup and cool clothes. Like, I think the Housewives have kind of been ruined. And I say this as literally someone in the glam industry. Like, I think that the Housewives have been ruined a little bit by like 3 hours of hair and makeup to like go film yourself, go to the DMV. I think that like by the time their lashes have fully dried, they're exhausted. They don't have the energy to keep shooting throughout the day. Like, I miss old Roni days where they would come down,
where they felt like real women.
Yeah.
Who were
hanging
out, doing their own makeup and hair, and just like going out to dinner as one does.
And then when they go to the reunion or there is that big party and they are glammed up, it's impactful, it's exciting, as opposed to like if you're always in glam, it's just kind of like, it's exhausting to me.
Yeah, and it's also makes it feel more produced, which it is a very produced show to begin with, but it takes away that rawness because you put so much time in getting hair, makeup, outfit ready to go sit down at a table and fight.
You know what I mean? It just feels like, so I would love to see her go back to Beverly Hills, you know, fresh-faced, single, and ready to mingle.
I would love to see her single.
Right?
Especially after like the Brandi Glanville rumor, I'm ready for a lesbian moment.
Please.
Like a fully fleshed out lesbian moment on Beverly Hills Housewives.
That's where we should get Che Diaz and like the spin-off moment.
Where Che belongs.
I'd love to see her with like a hot butch girl.
Same.
Like that would do a lot to me. Like I want a girl where if you squint your eyes, you're like, is that Aaron? Or is that Aaron with a knee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I love it. He's asking for a lot of money.
Oh, he's asking for money from her.
He's asking for money from her.
Oh, Dios mío. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of numbers.
Wait, 200. I've seen I've actually never seen this many numbers in a lot of time.
I'm going cross-eyed a bit.
Oh, okay. He's saying that she earns $250,000 a month via her OnlyFans. That's cool.
Wow.
I believe that.
Is she showing full frontal? I feel like OnlyFans.
Is she?
I think she maybe just. I don't know.
I could see her making that by not even showing full frontal.
Yeah, just a hint of cleave. 250. I don't think he's entitled to any of her OnlyFans.
No,
unless
that
he's
is
on
not
the OnlyFans.
Yeah. It's not like they're doing content together.
He has not made income since he had to close down his wellness company.
Okay.
He claims he and Denise spent a total of $105,000 per month, with $25,000 of that going to food.
That makes sense to me.
And $20,000 going to clothes. Okay,
that honestly, but I can't see. Food has gotten really expensive.
That's very LA too, where you're spending $25,000 a month on food.
Okay,
if you really want to eat healthy, it's gonna cost you $25,000.
Okay, well, I wasn't eating healthy, but the other day I had a random craving, which I haven't had in like 15 years, for Subway of all things. I said, I want a cold Subway sandwich with that yoga mat bread. I want you to guess how much Postmating 2 footlong sandwiches and a couple of chips for me and my husband cost.
$40.
$80.
No.
80. Each sandwich is about $30 now. A foot long, if you want extra meat, if you want avocado, honey, the upcharging, it was $80.
I'm about to cry.
We didn't even get drinks. I was like joking. I was like, let's get like fast food, cheap night, like Subway. And then I was like, this is $80. Ask me if it was good. It was good.
What is the world coming to?
Oh, no, it's actually too expensive to go ahead and live. Like,
what?
I have 30 jobs just to be able to have Subway once a year.
What happened to the $5 footlong?
Oh, the $5 footlong is gone.
I'm full crying.
I know, it's really bad.
I'm not ready for that.
It's really bad.
It's $25,000 a month or death.
Or death. Like when I saw $25,000 a month for food, I was like,
okay.
They could cut back a little, but that's right.
Their rent costs $18,000, which doesn't include the $8,000 they spend on utilities.
Okay.
$5,000 maintenance and repairs, and $5,000 on laundry and cleaning.
So of course she has to show full frontal. That makes sense to me. But if you look at the numbers, if she's making the $250 just from OnlyFans,
she does show full frontal. Full frontal or just tits?
This is one photo I found.
Okay.
I can't see from here if that.
It was her topless, being like, "Hey."
Good for her.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I think the OnlyFans culture is really cool.
And I loved her Playboy era.
Of
like
course.
she was like, she's always been one of the hottest women.
But
to
by
ever
the way,
grace
I would
planet.
much rather her get all of the money than that money go to like men who are selling Playboy and like all the advertisers and all that. Like I would much rather skip the middleman and have it go to her and her $25,000 a month food budget. Okay, well that just looks like some booty. That's cute.
Direct to consumer porn,
Yeah.
owned
But especially for
by
women,
the maker is important.
but especially for women too.
Yeah.
I feel like sex work before, it was like these women, people were making millions of dollars commodifying these women's bodies, and now, and they would get such a small percentage of it. I'm sure OnlyFans takes a big cut, which is probably run by a man, but still, there's still, if she's earning $250,000,
that is hers.
which means that she's probably generating $500,000 a month.
God,
That's cool.
I'm ready to start an OnlyFans, honestly.
Lara, you would probably do really well.
Okay, I'm considering it.
Okay.
Because, $25,000.
Hello, if you want a foot long,
It's not coming out of thin air.
yeah,
I'll tell
it's
you
not.
that.
It's certainly not.
JAHnet has taken to, she took to socials over the weekend to let everyone know that she has fled the country. She is now in Switzerland after receiving multiple death threats from viewers of The Valley.
I mean, I would love to go to Switzerland. That sounds nice.
I'm like, did you flee to Switzerland or are you just on a summer vacation?
Did you? And when were these tickets booked? Is this just your summer vacation?
And why are you acting like you're like fleeing to Switzerland in the midst of Nazi Germany.
Well, here's the thing. Especially in this climate, when people really are going to need to flee to Germany in about 3, 2, 1, like, I don't love her saying that. Also, as much as I struggle with her as a character on the show, I don't think I could actually pick her up in a lineup if I saw her on the streets. Like, she doesn't have such an impactful look that I would recognize her. I think she's safe.
No, I'm always thinking I see JAHnet and it's not JAHnet. It's just some other basic bitch. So, like, she's good. And so someone had said somewhere that they posited that perhaps Danny and Nia have bots who are fighting in a digital army.
I can't with the bot culture, because I'm like, is everything a bot?
Are
we the only non-bots out there actually scrolling?
I think so.
Sometimes I do wonder.
The world runs on bots.
I know.
And those bots are trying to threaten JAHnet and her family.
The thing is, obviously, I'm going to sound like I'm in 2010. I'm anti-bullying, of course, but it is rare to find someone that has been so universally disliked as her.
She's bearing the brunt right now of Bravo hatred, and I feel for her, because that has to be a particularly bad place to land.
And so many people have done so much worse than her.
Oh, so much worse.
But she is just, and I say this with all due respect, she's just so wholly unlikable that
she's a pill.
She's a tough pill to swallow.
But I think lean into it.
Go on House of Villains or something.
Yeah,
get a full-on Karen haircut. Imagine if she came to the reunion with a Kate Gosselin. That would be the most iconic thing, and she just leaned in.
She should do like a very realistic Gosselin wig.
100%. Should I send one to her?
I think you should offer your services.
Okay. Now, she wasn't on Vanderpump, right?
She was not on Vanderpump.
Because I've never seen Vanderpump. I've watched The Valley from episode 1. I've never seen Vanderpump. I know.
You're an organic.
I'm not alone.
Not even a convert.
I'm not alone. A lot of people who've never watched Vanderpump are watching The Valley.
Was it just there was too much of a barrier to entry with Vanderpump, so you just said, I'm really curious about these people, or what led you here?
I don't know how it started.
It's
so unclear how I ended up watching that first episode. And I don't even think I liked the first season of The Valley, and I watched every episode. Now it is appointment television. I adore it. But yeah, and I actually started working with Ariana last year. I've done her for a few big things.
Wow, she's looking better than ever.
And she's so sweet.
She's
and I've
nice
asked her
person.
lots of questions. I'm like, what was it like doing the show? And she's like, you've never seen it? And I'm like, I haven't. Because I'm a Housewives person. I watch every, I've seen every Housewives from tip to taint. Like, I've seen every inch of Housewives. But I've never seen Vanderpump. I want to. I think it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
It will feed you.
I know.
And nourish you.
I know.
You won't even need to spend $25,000 on food, because you'll be full after watching at least seasons 1 through 6. I believe are Criterion level television.
Obviously, I trust you.
And then 6 through 10, I'd be.
But then it comes back, right? Then it has like. But then it comes back.
Season 10 is like explosive because Scandival happened.
Sure, so which of course I know about.
Yeah, and it makes all those other seasons worth it. And then it kind of like peters out, but it almost is a poetic, like, true to form. It couldn't have happened any other way, because you'll see when you watch, it's like tsunami levels of drama, where it's like the tide recedes and then all of a sudden the wave hits and then the tide recedes, and they're really so bad at riding the wave of anything that they have no choice but to just kind of flop for a while and wait to fuck each other over again.
Yeah, it's like the fish are just on the shore, sort of like flopping, waiting to get swept up again.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. No, I look forward to eventually watching that. And also, is it Schwartz that's Jax's roommate now on The Valley?
Yeah,
I'd love to watch more of him.
Oh yeah, he's a fan favorite.
I'd love to watch more of him.
He's very attractive, but also one of the more sinister men on the show.
The way he kept saying dude. I mean, we'll get into it later when we watch the show, but it did something to me.
Yeah. Wait, JAHnet has a response to her haters.
Okay. This website's very ugly. I'm just going to say that.
I think if you can flee the US to Europe, you're probably fine.
Yeah, they're grinning from ear to ear in an infinity pool.
Yeah, like I would say this.
Oh, that lighting. Well, oh my God, that's beautiful. Wow. What is she saying?
Showing our baby the world.
Love that.
Great.
As she should.
My other theory is that they are, I'm sure the cast, I don't think the show.
See what a difference lighting makes? Because look at him there and her there and the other one.
I know. The show hasn't been renewed for season 3.
Oh, but it will.
It will be, but I do think they're probably in negotiations right now.
Uh-huh.
And seasons 2 to 3 is usually when you get a big pay bump. So I feel like this is a negotiation tactic as well.
But I feel like Bravo plays hardball now. They're not handing out Vicky Gumbelson checks anymore. No. You know what I mean? They're just like, okay, we'll get someone else.
Yeah, that's true. They run a hard bargain.
And really, I feel like people go on these shows to then make money to be influencers. So it's like
the show is not the main gig.
The show's not the main gig anymore.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
That you can be on a TV show and still be like, okay, I need something else to be going on.
Have you not seen the cost of Subway?
I know.
It's bad.
Erika Jayne has a new boyfriend.
Right, I saw this.
A retired military Army Special Ops boyfriend nicknamed Shrek.
Okay. The name Shrek is difficult for me.
Whoa. That is absolute. I had a whole different vision, and this, I did not see this coming.
See, I'm going to go ahead and be attracted to him too, unfortunately. He's like hot Santa. You don't like that?
No, I can get into it.
Yeah.
I had an Erin vision in my head. I just always expected her to go a little bit younger. But
no, the heart wants what it wants, yeah. Lara. She has a history, and that's like, yeah, no, that's
wow. Those Crocs, a Croc and sock combo I think of that ilk is really doing it.
And is he wearing a Stranger Things shirt? I don't like that.
This is what you have to put up with, though, if you go.
I know.
Hyper conservative.
Oh, look at him when he was young.
Wow.
Okay. I don't love the gun. I really don't love the gun, but everything else is working for me in this image.
How long ago was that taken?
And also, do they shoot from planes in the Army? I don't know how the world works.
I think they shoot from wherever.
They do? Wait, are they actually shooting from planes?
Yeah. I think that they are just shooting, like,
Lara, I've never even seen an action movie.
You're issuing a shot.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like,
I love an Army movie. Like,
I've never seen one.
That's one of my favorite genres.
Okay.
And from what I've gathered, they're shooting.
I hate that he's wearing an H&M Stranger Things Heather tee. Like, I really hate that.
This is what you get, though. This is what they wear.
I know. Like,
if you can't accept him at his Heather Stranger Things jokey tee, you don't deserve him.
But like, I'm open to a straight guy in a Dr. Pepper shirt. Like, that is actually kind of horny to me. But this, oh wait, never mind. He can pull it off. That's a hot shot. What's his name? Shrek?
They call him Shrek. Those who know him call him Shrek.
And I bet he's got a big old donkey, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Wow. Good for her.
I know. I don't feel like she needed this pounding after what she's gone through.
Did you see her at the Scissor Sisters concert?
I was there.
You were?
Yes.
Wait, how was it?
It was incredible.
Okay, cool.
And so I'm friends with Jake, and he had told me, I'd seen him the day before, and he told me that she was coming out. I promptly forgot, and then was completely taken by surprise.
Was the audience gagged or no?
They were gagged.
And she was good from what I saw.
She was incredible.
She said, because you have to say tonight, and she did her, like, Roxy Andrews tonight, and that was like, okay, you did good.
She did the whole strut, the whole monologue.
Okay, cute.
She really had great stage presence and looked flawless.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the Scissor Sisters so much.
I know.
They have such a place in my heart.
It was the first time I'd ever seen them perform live. And it was amazing.
I saw them open for the B-52s when I was in like 7th grade.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the whole time too, because they opened for Kesha.
Yeah.
And I thought that Kesha was opening for them.
No.
But then, so I was like talking to Jay. I was like, so like, is she like, what's the thing? Like, she goes on first and he was like, no, we're opening for her. And I was like, Kesha has that many fans?
But it's co-headlining, right? It's like a co-headlining
It's
tour.
like co-headlining. Yeah. But I was shook.
I will say that Kesha had this song that came out last year called Joyride that really snuck up on my Spotify end of the year list.
Okay.
I didn't see it coming. I
realize-
didn't know how much I loved the song Joyride until my list came out, and the proof was in the pudding.
I think I'm experiencing a lot of Kesha without realizing it's Kesha.
I think you
'cause
might be.
If you go to enough workout classes, you're just like,
Sure.
you're well versed in like the
course.
pop
It's
music
going down. I'm yelling
landscape.
timber. Yeah.
So, but I was like, wow. And Gen Z obsessed with Kesha.
That makes sense to me though, because she's so she is that like 2010s recession pop girly, like you know what I mean? She kind of had that like Gen Z like don't
She was
give
Gen
a fuck
Z
vibe.
before
Yeah.
Gen Z even existed.
Totally.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, good on her.
I'm all for it. She looks great.
Yeah.
She looks good.
Oh, she looks amazing.
Yeah.
And the show, from what I saw, looked incredible.
Oh, so you didn't stay for Kesha?
I didn't. I went
You went
backstage.
backstage.
And then
Laura was
living that
backstage in the VIP
backstage life.
lounge.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. Honey, when I'm at a show, I'm backstage too. With a
So
hairbrush, but still.
I only caught glimpses, but from what I saw, I was intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're not here to really speak on Shrek or Kesha.
No, we're not.
Or JAHnet. Well, actually, we are here to speak on JAHnet.
Always.
Because we are going to talk about the most recent episode of The Valley. I'm Lara.
I'm Clayton.
And you're listening to
Sexy,
Unique
Unique
Podcast, Valley of the Dolls.
Valley of the Dolls.
Guys, a lot is afoot.
I took notes.
Me too. It begins with an incredible boat montage
Uh-huh.
of horror on the high seas. And I just love when Dodie gets activated and takes it to a place of violence and threat.
Sure.
And my big takeaway from the boat montage was her going, "Don't make me knock your ass out."
So she obviously this is like her true form is what we're seeing. As someone who didn't watch, Vanderpump, she was that sort of, I don't want to say rocker girl, but something about
She's
her
a
reminds
rocker.
me of Rodeo from Rock of Love. She kind of has that kind of energy.
No, she's rock and roll.
Okay, yeah, she's very rocker.
You'll see too, like, you'll really come to understand the full breadth of her rock and roll vibe when you watch Vanderpump Rules.
Laura,
and you will know her as nothing other than a rock girly at heart.
Am I like someone who just simply started with watching and just like that, and you're like, maybe you should watch Sex in the City too? Is that what I'm experiencing?
Kind of, but I'm also shook that there's many people. You said there are a lot of us out here, meaning many people just came into the Valley and never
Me, my
watched.
husband, my assistant, like we all just watched the Valley. I'm from the Valley though.
Okay.
Does that give context to this?
That gives more context.
Okay.
Because to me, if I don't know what my vibe would have been on the Valley if I didn't have the history of Vanderpump.
Right.
Because they all are incredibly random to me.
Sure.
And they looked like so random from the start. Like the people that weren't on Vanderpump, I was like, simply who are these people?
Sure.
That I don't know if I could have been roped in.
I'm still struggling with names.
Oh, to this day.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
as
never
long as you're
know
okay
who
with
anyone
that.
really
yeah.
is. Yeah, no, it's JAHnet, Jason, Jesse. There's way too
Nia.
I don't see how you cast a show of everyone having a J name.
I know.
It just doesn't work.
But that's what you're going to get when you're dealing with like elder millennials. It's a lot of hard J's.
This is true. So there's boat threats, boat violence, boat montage, and then we go back to 24 hours earlier.
And Zach is truly the worst kind of host that you can imagine for a party. Because I will say this, I would so much rather you not have fun decorations. I'd so much rather you not make t-shirts than you just have a chill attitude and make everybody comfortable and have good food.
Oh, yeah.
He's making it all about him. He's so stressed. And like you've all met that kind of bridesmaid where it's like, no, you have to put on the fun hat. I ordered these off Amazon. And it's like, just relax. You're being being a good host, as Luann de Lesseps would say, is about making everyone feel comfortable, darling.
Yeah, and I was incredibly uncomfortable watching him.
Unsoothed to the max.
And also, the food downstairs feels like a complete afterthought. I'm like, by the time they get down there, it's been sitting out for hours, I'm sure.
I thought it was going to be a way different party based on how they were talking about it. It was it was like a Panera spread.
And it was a complete afterthought.
And one woman of a certain age doing like a lovely Hawaiian number.
And there was a couple in the background, like that was sitting on just like pool chases.
Just watching?
That were just watching.
Okay.
Like they stuck around. They're on a Hawaiian vacation and they're like, by golly, there's a TV show filming.
Of course.
They're like, let's watch, stick around and watch. We've never seen anything like this. And I love that for them.
See, my husband, when we're watching Housewives, he'll always notice, he'll be like, look at that person in the background filming. Look at that person in the background filming. And there are a lot of, and sometimes they'll blur them out. Sometimes Bravo will just simply blur them out.
These people weren't blurred.
No, this was their moment. They signed the release.
This man was in a green, they happily signed a release and just sat there fully reclined watching the entire hors d'oeuvres gathering.
It's like a dinner theater.
It was great.
Yeah.
From like 100 feet away.
I love that.
I love it for them. So my beef with JAHnet in this situation is that she's acting incredibly victimized.
Correct.
When in fact she offered to not come to the hors d'oeuvres gathering.
Correct. You can't have it both ways.
No, just be like, hey, I'm going to sit this out. It's fine. And then move on with your life. But don't act like they kicked you out of it. You still could have shown up to it.
I mean, this is the end of the previous episode, but when she's just like, I'm really hungry. Like, I thought we'd be eating at this point. So, I gotta go. Like that was, and the tough part, and maybe this is why a lot of people don't like her, is I really saw myself in those moments.
We've all been JAHnet.
I have a lot of JAHnet in me, which is she's like a funhouse mirror reflection of all of us at our worst moments, where you are trying to be cool and act like everything is fine and you're doing the right thing, but much like Zach with making the shirts and doing all that, just actually like live your truth and relax, as opposed to acting like everything is, no, I'm fine. Just say you're not fine.
Yeah, just be like,
I'm disappointed.
And disappointed, and it makes me feel like I don't want to come tomorrow, instead of being like, well, I guess I'm going to go home. Mm-hmm. And I'm still haunted by where are we going to eat? Her turning to her husband at the 11th hour. I was like, you're so fucked. I've chilled, like a horrible chill just went down my spine.
I've been like that.
Oh, I've had whole relationships fall apart because of food.
Lara, I've been like that in Hawaii. I guarantee you.
Oh, 1,000.
I think that's why this hits so close, because there is nothing like getting into a fight with your loved one when you're in the most beautiful location of all time. That one hits in a different way.
Hungry as hell.
And
no one's made a dinner reservation in the most touristy place.
Correct.
Outside of the 48 states.
Correct. Now, do you think she should have gone to the party? Do you think she made the right call by sitting herself out that night?
I would argue that the correct call in this particular situation is you go to the party and you show face, or you act
just say,
happy.
I'm really happy for you.
You offer the olive branch.
Yeah, I agree.
And eat the appetizers.
I agree.
Or go down, like, before everyone gets down there.
I agree.
Have a little nibble, have a drink, and then see yourself out as everyone arrives and be like, congratulations to you guys.
I think the first instinct is to be like, I'm not going to go. And then, like, what's the husband's name? Zach? No. What's that?
Jason.
God, Jason.
Don't put me on the spot. Gun to my head.
I couldn't tell you.
I would probably get shot.
I'm like, okay, like Donnie or whatever. She should have sat with her and been like, babe, we got to go. We got to show face, be the bigger person. And then you go and you're the bigger person. And it's awkward at first, but then you move past it. But then she went to a place of being like, you know what? I'm actually not going to go tomorrow either. And I'm not going to do anything. And it's like, calm down.
And we might leave early.
I know.
I hate leaving a day early. Is such a bitch move.
Laura, I've been there.
You've left a day early?
I haven't, but I've had the instinct. She's like a feral version of myself.
I've gone punitive midday early mode.
That's what it is. She's very like the judge, the jury, and the executioner. That's the vibe she gives. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think, like you said, you just have to own it.
You just have to own it. And we'll see later in this episode a masterclass in owning it with Brittany, because the way that she apologized and owned her mistakes and I thought was beautiful and was so good.
You said there's growth here.
Oh my gosh. I thought when Brittany was just like, I'm so humiliated. I made a huge mistake. I'm so sorry. I was like, that is how you apologize.
That's a good point, because I was like, we'll get there, but I was a little put off, but then now I'm seeing it from a new light, and that's what I love about this show and this podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Brittany is feeling just a little bit hurt that she wasn't on the big fishing boat proposal. The
logistics of it confused me, of all of it.
Of the entire proposal, like this entire engagement, I'm realizing now that we've seen the whole thing play out, is so Luke and Dodie haphazard, very weird.
Yeah.
After I saw the beautiful dinner cruise that they went on, I was like, why weren't they engaged on that boat?
Yeah.
That boat was beautiful.
And
with
the lighting.
A gorgeous sunset.
Uh-huh.
They had appetizers. There were drinks. They got engaged on like the back of a deep sea fishing boat.
I know, while they were gaslighting her about like pods of dolphins or something.
Yeah, and she was like not freshly showered, like not ready for the whole moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they just do it because they didn't want JAHnet there? But I'm like,
but no one was there.
JAHnet in the back.
Yeah,
like,
no one was there.
Yeah, so the entire engagement on the boat to the weird hors d'oeuvres gathering, I was like, this is very classically Dodie.
Yeah.
And perfect for them. Everyone's down at the hors d'oeuvres, but Dodie and Luke, were they staying behind to fuck a little bit?
Yeah, he was like, okay, everyone give us like 20 minutes.
They're always like...
But that's good. I like that.
I think that makes for a strong relationship.
But I also feel like there's a lot of them that we're not seeing, because they'll be like, last night got crazy. And it'll just be like a 30-second like sepia gray montage of like snorting wasabi and like giant fights. And I'm like, well, why didn't we watch that?
I know, they're giving her like more of a hero's edit.
They really
and I don't appreciate it.
It's crazy how they're giving her such a hero's edit.
I need like the raw footage.
I know.
Of Dodie and Luke's entire relationship vibe, because I know there's darkness underneath.
Yeah, but I kind of like him.
He's growing on me.
Yeah.
I still think he's like very militia coded.
Sure.
Like he wants to take to the woods with like a big brood.
But I could see that being an attractive quality in a partner.
It's a protector vibe.
I know. I want to be protected.
Mm-hmm. You want a Shrek of your own.
I want a Shrek. I want an Aaron. I love a ginger.
In this day and age too, it's good to have like a protector.
No, literally, Lara.
When nuclear winter breaks out,
you need a protector.
And World War III is upon us, you really are going to need to reevaluate your relationship and say, is this a protector?
No, one thing about my husband is that like when push comes to shove,
he'll kill.
Okay,
that's important.
And he knows stuff about like cars and stuff.
Okay, wow.
Like he knows how to like fix cars, and he'll kill.
Fucking jackpot.
I know.
That's
all that matters now.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a pretty good, like, I'm like Linda Hamilton Terminator style.
Oh,
like
I know that about you. I know that you are.
Of my pug, and like, I'll kill.
Yeah.
But I also am like, once World War III is underway and our like Wi-Fi has been shut off and I can't Google things,
I know.
I'm less of a protector.
See, I'm not a protector at all. I'm a provider. Mm-hmm. I will provide for like the home. I will take all of that, but like take away my ability to make TikTok videos and do pop stars' hair, and I'm pretty useless. Okay? Once like Russia comes and drains my bank accounts, like we're fucked.
Yeah, if the internet goes out and I can't like broadcast the podcast,
yeah, if you can't talk about Bravo, I'm
on the street corner trying to like do comedy for pennies,
100%,
and like bread. And then if I haven't Googled how the gun works before the internet goes out, there's no way I'll ever know.
I know.
So I have a lot of research to do.
We've got a lot of work to do. We've got our work cut out for us.
Everyone mills about this hors d'oeuvres.
And why was everyone so mad that Danny and Nia were like late? Were they that late?
I don't know.
That seemed like, again, we're missing, that there was something. I rewound because I was like, why are they mad at them?
We're missing crucial info now about Danny and Nia, who I think are also being given like a redemptive edit in the latter half of the season.
Yeah.
Because like later in the episode, it comes out that at a meet and greet, Danny was also inappropriate,
which
while he
came
was
out
drunk.
later. This is like we're watching like the Epstein jail footage where just like minutes are seemingly gone. Like
They're
the
gone.
clock is changing in the background, and I'm just like, we're not seeing the whole story.
No, and Bravo's like, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
Like, every
yeah.
episode is like that.
And the thing is, we're also like brain dead that we're like, oh right, it has been. You're right. Okay.
I'm feel like a lot is missing, and like they're trying to. I think that Danny and Nia, my take is like, I find them incredibly dark-sided.
There's a low vibration.
It's a low
coming.
vibrational energy.
Yeah.
I do think that he struggles with some form of drinking, whether it's like, I
Well,
think
it just sounds like he's an angry binge drinker, but that's okay.
and like kind of a groper, gets like creepy, which
I don't like the
love.
groping. I don't like the groping. Yeah, it
But
sounds like
for
he's
TV.
It sounds like he's a messy drinker.
He's a messy bitch when it comes
And
to
he
drinking.
wasn't in O-Town or 98 Degrees or LFO. I just want to confirm that he was not.
He was not a boy bander, but he does have the washed up boy band look.
I've never seen a face so Orlando, Lou Pearlman, dancing boot camp. I mean, if he were to say like,
He probably auditioned.
and if he were to say like, the reason I am like this is because what Lou did to me, I'd be like, it all makes sense. And he could have a big arc of like redemption.
No, he has that vibe about him.
Yeah. And I think he's cute.
Not Danny.
I'd love to pop and lock.
Danny is a Labubu to me.
I know, but Labubus are cute, right?
They are cute.
I'm all for like Labubu culture, but I also think that like, can we just embrace things that aren't just Labubus? Like, let's let everybody just have whatever little charms.
Everyone deserves a toy.
That's all that I'm saying, and I'm not afraid of a toy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, but anyway.
Well, like, I think more will rise up from
I
the
hope so.
Labubu
Okay, I hope
ashes.
so.
This is like the first wave
Right,
of
right,
toy
right.
culture.
Okay, cool.
Like, we're getting back into like Furby, Beanie Baby.
I have
era.
I literally have Furbies and Beanie Babies on my desk.
I love that.
And a Madonna Dick Tracy plushie doll from the early 90s.
That's collector vibes.
Oh, yeah.
JAHnet and Jason, after the hors d'oeuvres, which only lasted for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I loved Zach's like bond with Lucy, I believe her name was.
He was really nice to her.
He was really nice to her, and he was like, "Thank you so much to Lucy, our amazing hostess. Like, Lucy, you have the best night of your life."
I actually loved the way he handled that. Now, Zach to me does remind me of like a Nick Kroll impersonation of a gay guy that like is really funny, but like he'd maybe be canceled for now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a straight person doing a gay person impression.
It's over the top.
It's really over the top. It's like, it looks like someone has prosthetics on. It's like Bruno. It's like a different level.
It's the eyebrows being like this at all times.
Yeah.
And like
but he's growing on me. I love to see
He
like,
kills me.
I love to see like gay representation where we're not just like A, cool, B, like a victim. Like I like to see like a messy kind of villainous. Well, he's not even villainous. He's just a dimensional gay character.
chaotic,
Yeah.
like super gay.
For sure. Who like, no offense to him, but like, you know, has bad style. Like I think that's kind of cool.
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him.
I think he's a star. And I saw on like the poster on Peacock, he is center of that poster.
He's working hard this season.
He really is. Because he was kind of a friend of last year.
Yeah, he wasn't as heavily featured, and
Yeah.
now he's incredibly in the mix.
Yeah.
And he's a dynamic person on the show.
100%. So he thanks that woman. The party goes on.
Thanks, Lucy. The party goes on. Danny and Nia are getting called out for like being late, and then
didn't
people
get
are
that.
still kind of shit talking them. And Nia just keeps saying like, "Don't let them steal your peace."
That is like the recurring theme of this
The
episode,
mantra.
which is just like, don't let them steal your peace. I literally have in my notes, steal your peace is the mantra.
It is. It's like, I love the idea of your peace being stolen in Hawaii.
I
of all
know.
places.
And I also just imagine someone like collecting people's pieces, like a peace thief. I like that too.
That's JAHnet.
Yeah, JAHnet is the peace thief.
Everyone kind of makes their way out of the hors d'oeuvre area and up to the room where Luke goes, "No one come in Kristen and me's room tonight." And I was like, again, like, we know, like, you're coming inside her.
Yeah, that's lovely. They're gonna try to make a baby.
They're making babies.
Yeah.
And everyone goes kind of old school style, camps out in like a hotel room
That
with
was
plastic
fun.
cups.
I like that part.
I wanted to see it get wild though. I was like, this is how I know we're all older,
I
is that
know.
it kind of is like the end of the night and things aren't escalating.
I
from
know.
there.
It's just there's no way to do that without like illicit substances.
No, and even the next day you see them, it's like everyone's looking and sounding kind of rough the next day.
Okay, but Lara, the next morning, was Kristen drinking white wine in bed in the morning? Did you see that?
Probably.
She was drinking white wine in bed in the morning.
She loves a glass of vino.
Okay, white wine in the morning was
It's like orange juice to
hard
her.
to process for me.
I'm like, is everyone suffering from a summer cold or is there something else at play? Because everyone is really stopped up.
There's nothing I hate more on a reality show than when people get sick. Like Tinsley Mortimer on Real Housewives of New York, they'd go on a girls trip, immediately head cold. And she would rally and try to keep drinking, but I hate when they sound congested. I hate a scratchy voice. It's like, let's get some like wellness formula in here and keep going.
We need vitamin C.
Get a drip.
Because I was like, you guys don't seem like you're rage partying. Like, I don't think that you took a bunch of Coke to Hawaii. Like, that seems like too much of a gamble to cross the seas.
Right.
So you must all just be like getting sick on the airplane and then suffering through it the next day.
They're not
like,
doing the nasal sanitizers.
Brittany's stuffed up. Dodie's stuffed up.
I know.
Michelle says she's not feeling good.
When I heard her say that, I got annoyed. I was just like, oh, God.
Guys, you got to get it together.
Get it together.
Take a little bit of Adderall.
Or take it. Have you ever had a Dayquil? Honey,
Dayquil.
I look forward to being sick to have a Dayquil, okay?
Get a little pep in your step.
I'll never forget being in like 10th grade in high school, having a cold. My mom's like, take a Dayquil. And I remember walking up the stairs to my school and feeling like, I can do anything. Like I'm still chasing the dragon of that Dayquil high.
That's vintage Dayquil. They probably don't make them like they used to.
I've never felt that. And then I think for like 3 months I had Dayquil every day. Straight A's.
Dayquil addict.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, I also love JAHnet and Jason camping out in their room with like only a reading lamp on. I was like, you guys are so dramatic. Just go out there and be like, hey, how was the night? Like they're acting. JAHnet in particular, I think is suffering from like a victim psychosis that a husband has no choice but to like go on the journey. Like the partner has to go on the victim journey with their partner. I disagree.
I think, and maybe that's just my relationship dynamic, but my husband would be like, pull the Band-Aid off. You're being a victim. Get it together. He's like, and even if he were to be like, you're looking bad right now. He's like, you want to look good in this? Like, go out there, apologize, be the bigger person. Yeah.
See, I think I want someone that would really challenge me and be like, you're being like JAHnet.
Yeah. Oh, no, my husband.
Do you want to be JAHnet or do you want to be Dodie?
100%. But also with my job, like literally being in the service industry and working with like big personalities is literally putting your ego aside, ripping the Band-Aid off, and like going into a room after like being yelled at and being like, how's it going, guys? Like I'm very used to that. So I'm just like, how can you not? You're going to win if you just go down there.
Yeah. Kill him with kindness.
100%. Do we think JAHnet voted for Trump?
I don't get Trump voter from her.
Okay. That was just in my notes. That was just a question that I had while watching. Okay.
I think Danny and Nia voted for Trump.
You do?
They're giving like Christian conservative.
I know, but he had to turn to God after what Lou Pearlman did.
I know. But they're giving that. I think Jax may or may not have.
I'll let it slide for him. I'm really attracted
Brittany
to Jax.
Might have. Her
no.
did.
Brittany didn't. Brittany didn't. No, Brittany is giving like ally boots.
Okay. Sherry.
Who's that?
Her mom.
Have I met the mom?
The mom, she's been on some of the episodes, but like in the background, once you get...
Well, no, I'll watch Vanderpump and I'll get to know Cherry.
A full knowledge
Sherry
of
or Cherry?
Sherry,
sure.
Yeah, she'll be iconic. Like I could see you doing a video that's like how to replicate her glam.
Perfect.
A frosted lip is all you need to know.
Love.
Dodie and Luke are awake and Jax has texted Dodie congrats.
Yeah.
and she's pissed.
But listen, even from LA, he's making himself the center of the episode. Like that's reality show skill.
Where do you stand on the Jax of it all?
I think that he's probably I think he's good for the show.
He's great for the show.
He's great for the show. I think that it's pretty dark. But again, these shows, aren't they supposed to be documentaries? They're not supposed to be like people that we lift up and look up to. I like watching these shows because it's complicated people, complicated dynamics. I like seeing these things. Now, if it's getting to a point of like violence, I think that's where we have to draw the line, which I feel like maybe it got, I know a coffee table was flipped.
It seems like it edged.
It edged.
To it happened.
I don't know what happened, but I think that we're skirting that line. But I do think he's good for the show, and I wish that I wasn't attracted to him.
There's moments when they
do flashbacks.
The flashbacks
of when he was. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to when I watch Vanderpump, because he was once in a generation beauty.
And I think that he had like a gay era or a gay for pay era.
Oh, gay for pay, certainly.
Yeah.
And definitely like even him in that scene with, what's the roommate's name? Schwartz? Mm-hmm. That was like so Sean Cody coded when he was just like, dude. Like it was just, I could hear the headboard pounding and the dudes going on. Like it was.
And that apartment is very.
There's something very homoerotic about all of these guys to me. This show has crazy homoeroticism. Maybe that's what got me going into this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They do.
And especially the friendships are very charged, especially between the men. Because
they love each other.
They love each other.
Yeah.
But they've known each other for so long and truly have been through the dregs of LA model actor life together. And so they've seen some shit.
And they've risen to, great heights as well. Yeah, it's very interesting.
For like truly being gravely untalented.
Right.
They have like done incredibly well for themselves.
Yeah, good for those guys.
Brittany apparently texted Jax or called him.
No, they had a phone call.
Phone conversation the night before, told him all about the engagement, and now he's texting the boys chat.
And at first I was like, I thought she had no contact with him. So why is she on the phone with him, like talking about the trip? But then she really did explain herself. She said we were, talking about like a co-parenting pickup thing. And it just came out. He was my person. And I thought on the phone call, at first she didn't own it. But by the time she actually sat down with Kristen, I thought it was a masterclass in apologizing. I thought she owned herself. She said she was embarrassed. She said she felt so bad. She didn't want to take away from her day. Why did I do that? I regret doing that so bad. As someone who was really good at apologizing, I thought that she did a great job.
You said game recognized game.
Game recognized. Sometimes I will apologize before I've even finished doing the thing that I have to apologize for. Okay, that's called being in a long-term marriage. Like the other day, my dog, like my husband threw a treat for the dog and she's not supposed to jump and she was jumping up. And I'm like, why would you do? I'm so sorry. I yelled right now. Like literally mid-yelling, I stopped myself. And I liked that about her in that moment.
Yeah, she's learning. I loved Dodie calling her and being like, Jax just literally texted me and is texting the entire boys chat. And Brittany goes, he did.
I know.
Yeah, he did, girl.
I love Brittany.
She is an essential worker. I want her on the show forever.
But I don't think she's just an essential worker. Like JAHnet's an essential worker on the show and I don't care for her. Brittany, I'm head over heels for.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's other things in the past that maybe you've seen of her that are painting your view. Because all I'm seeing now is a woman with a heart of gold, acid reflux, and hair to her waist. And I think she's a doll.
I think it's hard because seeing her entire relationship to Jax, like from basically the moment it started up to now, and seeing how much she put up with from him, and then how much she like kind of protected or looked the other way when huge things were brought to her attention that should have been.
Was
like
he like
red flags.
He wasn't faithful to her? I'm assuming.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
He cheated on her with another cast member from Vanderpump Rules. It came out in season 6.
Oh my God.
This cast member was also had a side job in addition to being on the show. She was working like in hospice of some sort, and she was caring for an elderly woman.
I have.
And Jax went over to that place and they fucked
While there was like a woman.
while there was a woman
on
there,
like an oxygen
on
machine.
her deathbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so bad that it actually made its way into my brain. I knew that this had happened.
Yeah.
I had forgotten, but I had heard this.
And that fully came out on the show, and Brittany like took him back.
I think
that.
Casey Wilson actually told me this
That
in
sounds
order to
about
convince
right.
me to watch the show. She was like, a man slept next to a woman on her deathbed and cheated. And it still didn't get me to watch, but the Valley did.
But it teased something important and laid an egg of sorts.
Of course it did.
So, and then Brittany and Jax kind of controlled the narrative for so long that on the show you couldn't talk to them about anything. Like no one could bring up things about their relationship, and that got really frustrating.
Yeah, that's
because they would just shut things down.
They would like stonewall you or whatever.
They'd stonewall, and then eventually they got fired. So it was like Bravo took a stand, but it was like it was just frustrating to see. But I do also think that she is a very sweet and good,
she's great on the show.
naive person.
She's great on the show
with powerful hair.
Listen, they have never met a scissor they didn't use on the show, because the hair, I will say though, I love on Kristen's Talking Heads, she has a sensible hair length, and it's less rodeo from Rock of Love.
Yeah, I like that she's grown her mane out the way that she has.
It's too long.
You think it's too long?
All the hair is too long.
Okay.
I think if you're like doing an editorial shoot or you're Dua Lipa, like there's a time and a place where it can be super long. But I think if you're on a reality show, I think anything past nipple is the hair quality is just going to suffer.
True.
Do you know what I mean? That the style, the volume, the texture, it's just going to suffer once it gets to a certain length. And
That's very true.
And I'm putting my foot down.
Someone needed to say it.
I had to.
Luke tells Kristen, "Don't let him steal your piece right now."
He says it again. It's the mantra of the episode.
Jesse is working in him and JAHnet's room, and I had a realization where I was like, it's actually crazy that Jesse's a lawyer and also is on this show.
I don't think I even knew he was a lawyer until they were on that boat fight, and she was like, that's the thing about having a lawyer husband, like, you know what words you're allowed to use. That was the first time I had heard he was a lawyer. I thought he was like on Wizards of Waverly Place or something. Like that's what I was under the impression of.
What if you turned on a TV show and saw your lawyer on the TV show?
Yeah, but what kind of lawyer? Do you know what I mean? Is he like doing like copyright law? Do you know what I mean? Is he doing?
Maybe
I don't think
he's doing like email law.
I don't think it's like to Kill a Mockingbird or something where he's like in a courtroom, like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's that kind of lawyer.
Yeah.
But maybe it is.
Maybe we'll never know.
Yeah.
But I'm also just like, to be a lawyer and also be on the Valley.
Yeah, but that's that's the economy that
That's
we're living
the subway
in.
economy.
We're like, I'm going straight to this, go do someone's hair, then I'm gonna make TikToks later. You gotta.
We're on the hustle.
Yeah.
So Britt and Dodie meet on the beach, and that's where we get
Fabulous.
the apology of the century.
I thought that was so great. I really admired it. Yeah.
She goes, I don't know what I was thinking. And
I think she said something along the lines of, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so humiliated. And let me tell you guys this. This is my get out of jail free
secret
card.
sauce.
The secret sauce is to say, I'm so embarrassed right now. Like I if you did something bad, be like, I'm really, really sorry. And I'm really embarrassed. When you say that, that is like the ultimate, like you fall on your knife and the other person will be like, don't be embarrassed. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. And you get forgiven.
That's so true.
It's so powerful to be like, I fucked up and I'm really, really embarrassed. As opposed to I'm really sorry, I'm really owning it. That doesn't do much.
No.
But to hear that like the person is humiliated, that'll make you feel better.
That goes far.
It goes far.
This is a masterclass right now.
I've had to apologize a lot.
You just like opened up a whole new window for me.
Mm-hmm. And that works in the car too. I'll yell out in the car like, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. And if someone's really mad, they're like, that's okay. If you say I made a mistake to like someone with road rage.
A road rage and
I'm so sorry I made a mistake. that's okay, buddy. Like, I'll have people who are about to flick me off be like, all good, bud.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I made a mistake.
You are out here navigating these treacherous waters.
And by the way, you don't have to mean it.
One I'm sorry at a time.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to mean it.
Incredible. So she told Jax when she was drunk, and then...
Well, she didn't say she was drunk. She was like, I wonder why I told him that. And I'm like, well, because you were really drunk.
She had a shot in hand.
Well,
the night
she also
before,
said,
she was like, let's toast. Let's toast to Kristen and Luke. She was, I'm sure, many tequilas.
She also said, let me see your ring now that I'm not drunk. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she was drunk. That's why she told him.
But I also do think that Brittany and Jax find themselves in this same loop and pattern.
Yeah, it's a strange loop.
She likes to give him some bait to then fuck something up so then she can scream at him.
Yep.
And that kind of keeps the train moving. And so they're still caught up, despite the divorce papers, despite everything, they're still caught up in the never ending.
We all fall into patterns.
I know. But I need to see through like the entire extrication or like extraction of her from the marriage. Like,
again,
I hope that we get to follow the whole journey.
I mean, she says the right things where she's like, I am done. Like, if the papers were right here, I'd sign them. You know, she says all that.
Dodie also confronts Britt about not having her back at El Coyote.
Yeah, and that seems like a bit of a stretch to me because she's like, I don't want you to be my bodyguard, but I do want you to be my bodyguard. It was like...
Dodie and JAHnet need to like figure their shit out with each other.
Yeah.
But when Dodie was explaining this to Brittany, she goes, it's just like this last summer to this summer and the Al Coyote thing. I literally thought and heard her say the Al Qaeda thing. And I was like, the Al Qaeda thing.
They're involved.
And I was in a place of like full Al Qaeda.
You're like, oh, right. I guess I remember the part where she enlisted.
The fucking Al Qaeda thing.
Yeah, damn. She said that she was a member of Al Qaeda. That's fucked up that she tweeted that. Yeah. That's the thing about these shows is that like they are throwing so much at you that like you're like, oh yes, of course that did happen.
Yeah, I was like, Afghanistan, I'm tracking it. Like,
yeah, of course.
And then Dodie's like, I'm just fresh out of fucks to give, and Brittany thinks that that's hilarious. I'm like, you literally, when you say that,
I know
you're never more in it and giving more of a fuck than when you protest over and over how out of fucks you are.
I've never said I don't give a fuck. I think I always give at least a little fuck.
Oh, I'm giving so many fucks
me
at
too.
all times.
Yeah.
I give so many fucks that I like go, like I flatten with anxiety.
Yes, of course.
That it's like, then it would seem like I don't give a fuck, but really it's, I've given so many fucks.
I've got no fuck. Yeah, it's like, I do have more fucks in the reservoir to give, but it seems like I don't. But don't worry,
but trust, you're all there.
It's a refractory period.
The next day, they go, or maybe that night, they go on this beautiful boat cruise. Which
I have to say, the lighting, the sunset, it was like a Dolce & Gabbana, like $5 million campaign. It was the most beautiful lighting I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was gorgeous. It was the perfect setting for a proposal.
Yeah, correct. What is the lawyer's name?
Jesse. Okay.
No.
Jason. Damn
We
it.
haven't even talked about Jesse.
Oh my God.
Who I adore on the show.
Love Jesse.
Oh my God.
Jesse is very...
And there's something so gay about him too.
He's very gay.
Yeah.
Which it makes me like him.
100%. Like everyone on this show has sucked a dick. Like it's just... And
it makes me trust him. When a straight guy is gay, I'm like...
And he was rooming with the gay guys at one point.
Yeah.
That was...
And he walks around in his little undies. I'm not mad at that.
I'm taken by him, and I think his house is really beautiful. And you don't see a beautiful house
on
this show very often.
You rarely get to see a prime piece of real estate.
When you see a nice house that doesn't have a barn door, you take notice. It leaves an impact.
It's true. And he's kind of a Labubu too.
He so is.
But like one that I would open up and be really excited to get.
And he's also a prime example of just go with your grays. Like, don't try to like do weird soap opera just for men, dying at dark. Like, just own the grays and you're going to look so much younger and hotter.
What do you think of like the Jesse, Michelle, Aaron of it all?
I worry about Aaron's health.
Me too.
I think he might have the thing that like Barbara Bush had.
Like a thyroid problem?
There's something going on, like
the eyes.
Right.
He's either on psychedelics, like macro dosing.
Yeah.
The microdose, or there is like a serious thyroid issue.
But I think, you know, so is he a honey maker? Is that his job?
He sells honey. I don't know what his connection to bees is. I actually should look into that because I love a bee, but I don't know if he keeps hives or where he's getting the honey.
This might be in the post, no internet age. His skill with bees could come in handy, where I could see him literally like commanding them to protect you. So I see that appeal.
It's true that you are at an advantage if you have a relationship with bees or you're practicing animal husbandry of some sort.
I think both of us need to sort of get like a nature skill. I think that's sort of what we're learning from this.
True. I'm really trying to develop my beekeeper interests.
Yeah.
And then also I'm very interested in falconry.
Oh, I did it once. When I was a kid. Pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a big glove on you and then like a pterodactyl just flies towards you and your heart pounds.
I would love to. I just think having like a relationship with a falcon is going to serve you more than you think.
We got to get back into bees. We got to get back into falcons. Mm-hmm. And I guess we need to
go full analog.
Up on weapons also.
Maybe a weapon, maybe a slingshot or like bow and arrows.
Oh, that's cute. That's like very like eat my short man, like Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so on the boat, the lighting is stunning, and what's his face? The redhead
Luke is in a sailor outfit.
He's in a sailor outfit, which
did that do anything for you?
He looked cute, and I think he's a handsome guy. And I think everyone was kind of making a big deal about it. If these women can have their large breasts out at all times, I think he should be allowed to show a little moose knuckle, right?
He's just trying to make his woman laugh.
That's what it is.
For her.
It's playful, but I also think it was like a sign of confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an insecure man isn't going to wear that. So that was hot to me, that he was just like confident enough to do that.
He was having fun. And JAHnet is just kind of being a sad sack, dramatically leaning.
She's like, "You want to come sit with us over here, baby?" And she's like, "No, we're eating over here.
I'll just sit over here."
I can't
stand that.
I know.
Also, just say congratulations. Just literally all you have to do to diffuse anything is go up to someone and be like, "Hey, congratulations. I'm so happy for you guys."
No matter what happened between us, I'm really happy for you. That's it.
Done.
But instead it's like, "No, I'm actually allergic to tomatoes, but it's fine. I'll eat it."
And it's like being scared. What are you scared of?
I know, but I mean, she's scary. Kristen Doute's scary.
She's a wild child.
She's a wild child.
Fucking wild rock and roll.
She's so
girly
rock and roll.
At heart.
Yeah.
And she's not smoking anymore, so she needs somewhere to put that energy.
Did she rip cigs on?
She ripped cigs.
Oh, so is there a lot of cigarette smoking on Vanderpump?
They smoke and drink in an alley for a majority of the show.
Okay, I'm starting tonight.
They're like, the alley is like the sixth character of the show.
I
and in
smoking.
The early days, they're all having to wear these like handkerchief dresses and like outfits because they are waiters at SUR. And they're always just like leaving work to go and sit and drink in an alley. And
are they wearing gloves when they smoke?
No.
Oh, see, when I was 20 and I worked at restaurant jobs, we would put on like rubber gloves to go smoke our cigarettes.
Yeah,
so
that makes
don't
sense.
Stink when you're handing people food.
Oh, no.
Okay, got it.
Honey, this is SUR. You'll see. It's a different world.
Okay.
In that restaurant. Michelle asks, or JAHnet asks Michelle about Jesse, like, what did you ever see in him? What did you ever see in this guy?
And she kind of gave a nice answer. I thought she was going to be like, I know, right? And she was like, he was really nice and he cooked for me and he was humble.
And then I guess he made a lot of money in real estate and became a douche. And that was an insightful observation of like when someone makes some coin, you can kind of see what their true colors are.
Well, especially in the beginning. I've definitely seen people where, you know, they don't have any money. And then like the first year or two where they make money, they kind of
It's like
are an asshole. But then it sort of like mellows out. But I can also understand like being so excited to all of a sudden make money and you want to prove yourself and show yourself. But most people mellow out after a certain point.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's because you have like your dick doesn't work or it's small or both.
Or there's issues at play.
There's issues.
Yeah. Or what makes your dick work is something that you're not so proud of.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Zach and Brittany are talking on the boat.
Zach is again really drunk too, and the way he talks to the staff I love, because he's just like, looks so nice in here, can I charge my phone? That is okay, don't have to charge it at all. Like Zach might be the MVP. I was saying earlier he was a bad host, but he is so nice to the staff that I'm like, you know what, I fuck with you, Zach.
He isn't. He's a ham at heart.
I know,
and that's what I like about
Zach.
him is I do think that he has a good sense of humor, where it's like, if you are like, you're being like, it's a lot right now, you're giving me anxiety, he'd be like, I know, like, and
I know
he gets it.
He kind of reminds me of me when I was in 8th grade and I was like the only gay person out at school, and I would like clack a fan and sort of be the gay clown in class, and it's like, and the teachers would be like, oh boy, like he's kind of cozy. He's like cozy, like early 2000s. He reminds me of, remember that show like Next on MTV?
Yes,
he's like the kind of gay
Next.
that would be on Next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She regrets telling Jax, obviously. And I like that she's still owning it.
100%.
We get a glimpse of Jax's new apartment that's next door to Schwartz's apartment. And I'm really wowed by his like 80-inch TV.
Oh yeah, it's a big TV.
Like a guy with a huge TV, you're at an advantage.
I have a really big TV, Lara. Not to
brag. I'm
I've got,
jealous.
I've got
lie.
one of the bigger TVs you'll ever see.
Is that like an 80-inch, 77?
I don't know about inches or all that stuff, but it's the biggest one they make.
You go, get me a big one, and they said, here you go.
It's huge.
Ugh.
And to watch that sunset in Hawaii on that TV last night was something.
Big TV is life.
Big TV is life.
I could go bigger. I could stand to go bigger.
Go big. Who gives a fuck?
I have a 65-inch, and I could
That's
really...
still big, though.
That's big.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
That's big.
It's big. But like, when I saw Jax's TV, I said,
know.
you're in a whole nother arena, my friend.
I have to say, I know people are going to listen to this and be like, this guy is like so horny and corny and lame because he's attracted to everyone. But I will say the peak of me being titillated are the scenes between Jax and Schwartz. Yeah, that's all I can say.
We get like a montage of Jax's like big mouth moments.
And that was when I was like, oh my God, he was gorgeous.
Yeah, and you also got a good taste of like, there's a whole rumor that is started about Brittany and Kristen hooking up.
Yes.
Which I would like never forget, which they
were both on a bed, he said.
I mean, apparently Kristen like ate Brittany out.
So everyone on the show is bi. That's why it's so good.
No, it's amazing, but Brittany denies it to this day. But I am a truther. I believe that it happened.
Okay.
Never forget their true love. I think Kristen is such a lesbian at heart. Like the way that she
all
rides.
bi, Laura.
They are.
Okay,
that's
the show is teaching us all that like everyone is bisexual, and
everyone's bi, and it's okay to apologize.
There you go.
Here's how you do it.
And here's how you do it.
Jax going, you're not filming this, are you? When they're literally filming.
She was like, they're filming this. Yeah.
Zach apparently told Michelle that JAHnet and Sheena are the ones responsible for bringing Jenna around.
That was all like, again, new information where I was like, have they explained this Jenna thing before, or is this new information?
Jenna has reared her head at Dodie and Luke's housewarming party where she went up to Jesse. She's like she's
been on the old show.
She's been in the mix, like in the very background from Vanderpump era.
Yeah.
And now I think is trying to be seeded as potentially a new character on the show. I say bring her on.
Why not?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
But I guess she has a history with Aaron, and they're trying to figure out who is the real person that brought her into the mix to like ruin Michelle and Aaron's happiness. JAHnet.
This is getting too convoluted. This is the episode. This is the part where I got a little convoluted.
I love just JAHnet going, Jenna is a plant.
That's funny.
She's like CIA level. Like her victimhood is going so far that she's in a place of like plant.
Well, she's in a place of fleeing.
Yeah, she's fleeing in like plant. She's living in like World War II era Europe.
It's honestly giving like schizophrenic. Do you know what I mean? It's giving like the government's been listening to us.
She's very paranoid. And I'm here to tell you that, honey, you're on a spinoff of Vanderpump Rules where people that fucked people who know other people are gonna just show up. I think it could be pretty fun after a while.
Yeah.
You seem like you would have fun with it. Was it
But
a fun
I'm just saying that, like,
experience,
I can understand if you're on a reality show.
there's plants everywhere.
Well, just like I could understand the thinking of like if there are cameras in your house, if you have lights in your house, and like I can see like, and you're already a little bit like unwell, like paranoia could creep in.
Mm-hmm. Especially in this world.
Yeah.
Where everyone's bi and no one is marked safe.
Yeah.
I love Zach's analogy of people being messy. He goes, I think they're just as messy as a 3-year-old with a bowl of spaghetti.
Lara,
that shit's gonna go everywhere.
I wrote it down. That is Nick Kroll in prosthetics doing like a gay impersonation.
He's doing like I feel like Zach knows that who his target audience is, and he's really gunning for like the moms. He's doing like family friendly gay comedy.
Yes.
And I'm not mad at it.
It's like how I would act with my friends' moms in middle school, where I'd be like, honey, you better work. Yes. Like in a Tuscan kitchen being like, tell me the tea, sis.
Messier than 2 kids with a bowl of spaghetti.
It's like, is that from Full House? Like I've never heard that line before, but he said it as if, oh, of course, that old chestnut.
Mm-hmm. So JAHnet calls Zach and Kristen over to discuss the origins of Jenna.
Yes.
The maybe plant, maybe not plant.
Yes.
And they get in a huge fight.
Uh-huh.
I do have to say that I'm more siding with JAHnet in this fight, in the sense that like Dodie basically is like, well, you came to me like, and you wanted to repair the relationship, but now here you are, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And JAHnet's like, until you started spreading rumors about my husband. So that I have to unfortunately say is true.
I know. And Kristen is like, yeah, I shouldn't have spread those rumors. I made it up. I was trying to hurt you. And it's like, that's not a good apology.
Didn't spread rumor. I just like repeated something.
Like, I just repeated a lie. You know what I mean? It was like,
no,
that wasn't a good apology.
Kristen's not a good apologizer.
No, and I wouldn't expect her to be one.
No, but that's rock and roll.
You
never
that's what
apologize.
I mean. Yeah,
you're here to rock.
100%. She wants to like kick an amp over. Okay.
Yeah, she wants to like stand Courtney Love like 1 foot on the amp and like play the guitar.
100%.
Yeah. Never apologize. Mm-mm. Only rock. Then JAHnet takes it. Somehow they get in. Oh, because Kristen's like, yeah, I just repeated a lie, but I was so mad because you were coming for Nia and Danny. Like, they're my ride or dies. Yeah, I'll do anything to protect them.
That really is her ride or die. She has gone to bat for that couple.
She goes to the mattresses for them.
I know.
She'll kill for Nia.
And I can't imagine why. They must
be fun.
This
is the bisexuality.
They must be
of
fun,
Dodie.
not on camera or something.
I think that Dodie gets really intense female friendships.
Okay.
That are also motivated by like a latent sexual desire.
Okay.
And it's like a psychosexual female friendship. She thinks of it as like, she's my best friend. She's my fucking ride or die. But really, it's like she wants to marry her.
I love that.
I think she also purposely finds women in relationships with men, and secretly she would love to steal them away from the men and ride off into the sunset. But she's forced to perform this like heteronormative relationship kind of farce.
And that is, to me, so rock and roll.
It's incredibly rock and thoroughly roll.
Because guess what? Let me tell you something about rock and roll. It's not bi friendly. Rock and roll is all about the binary. Rock or roll. Pick one.
And it's very straight.
That's what I mean. It's like there's no gray area in rock and roll. You either rock or you don't.
And so Kristen is at a constant struggle with this. And I do believe that it gets her in trouble, such as when JAHnet's trying to repair the relationship.
Yeah.
Kristen goes too hard, it repeats the lie.
Yep.
And then leads JAHnet to say, too bad because Danny sexually assaulted someone. And she's now taking it to a place of sexual assault, which, by the way, unfortunately, I do have to say she's not technically wrong.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. The lesbian couple, he basically said, like, go get daddy a drink and grab their butt.
He grabbed one by the thigh and said, go get daddy a drink. And then he pinched the other one's butt.
If he had done that to a straight couple, if he had done that to a
Game
girl,
over.
It would have been game over. So I think we do have to acknowledge that.
That is unwanted sexual contact of some sort. And unfortunately, under the purviews of technicality, does qualify as a sexual assault.
Yeah, it does. And
but you cannot say that to Kristen.
You can't.
You tell her that Nia's man SA'd someone and Dodie will fly off the fucking handle. She was upstairs on that yacht faster than a kid. I'm
with a bowl of spaghetti. You know how kids are when they have bowls of
spaghetti's ready.
Honey, when the spaghetti's on the table and that kid comes running through the house for those SpaghettiOs. Yeah, it was very but I don't know. This is it's a really tough, interesting dynamic because we're like, JAHnet is technically right, but like she shouldn't have said that, but also why shouldn't she say that? Why are we defending this like Nick Lachey, light, drunk, bad guy? It's, the thing about the show is that everyone's bi and everyone is unlikable.
And everyone's wrong.
And everyone's wrong.
And I love that they end up fighting about her saying that as opposed to
the actual
issue between her and Kristen or the actual issue with Danny and alcohol or anything. And it becomes about like, how could you say that?
I know.
And she goes, Jesse, I'll tell you what she said. I don't want to even say it out loud, so I'm going to fucking whisper it. She is sexual assault.
But she didn't even really whisper it. No. She just like lowered her voice like a little bit.
Kristen
she turned down the amp a little.
On a warrior for justice once again, fighting at the top of the yacht, tooth and nail for justice for Danny and Nia.
Yep.
And I would argue that JAHnet has stolen her peace.
That's the thing. She is the ultimate. She is like Rumpelstiltskin with peace. She is just out there, just stealing it, crawling through your window at night. It's not good.
And things reach a fever pitch.
But Laura, while this is happening, I cannot stress enough, especially on my 180-inch, I'm assuming, TV, the colors in the sky. What's JAHnet's husband's name, the lawyer? I'll never know.
When you put me on the spot, I completely forget. His name is Jason. I might have called him Jesse a second ago.
Yeah. Jason, when he is being told this information about what his wife just did downstairs on the boat, I've never seen someone look more beautiful. The way the colors are hitting his face, it is literally the most sumptuous. It's like Stephen Klein went on the boat and directed this last final scene.
It's a beautiful sunset.
Oh my God.
And I love them. This is the most beauty they'll probably be privy to all year. Like raw nature, just like the higher power, whatever higher power you believe in has converged for this moment of just like stunning vistas, and they're spending it fighting with JAHnet.
Can't Lisa Vanderpump open up a resort in Maui and we just get a show with all these people smoking in beachy alleys and then get these sunsets every day?
I'm sure she's working on it.
Okay.
First stop, Vegas.
Yeah.
Next stop,
Wasn't
Hawaii.
there like a murder at her Vegas thing? Did you hear that? There was some
there was
violence
a fire
occurred
recently.
No, but there was an act of violence that occurred at her Vegas hotel.
I believe it.
I'm sure people die in Vegas all the time.
I think they more often than not.
Yeah, all in a day.
So things reach a real fever pitch with this fight and the allegations, and they finally pull into the port. And Kristen is now threatening physical violence.
Sure.
She's like, don't make me knock your ass out. And calling JAHnet a fan, which I really appreciated.
Yes. And that gave us like a lot of context about like where she came from. And I actually liked how she was like, you know, I was friends with her really close for a while. And then I found out later she was a fan, which is not always bad, but it does paint it in a weird color.
But a lot of people, I think especially in this like Vanderpump orbit and in the Bravo sphere.
Sure.
It's like, it does beg a relationship, like the fan to friend pipeline
I know,
is alive and well.
It's strong
in this sphere of entertainment,
which is very interesting because like in the actual world of like what I do, where you work with like actors or musicians, I feel like my peers, like hair and makeup or glam people, go out of their way to not consume any media so that they are like too cool for school. They're like with Julia Roberts, like, so you were in a movie, or because
you don't want to,
and they want to be negged. The actors like low key want you to like not know anything that they're in, so they can actually, if you're going to be spending so much quality time with them and like want physical with them, they don't want you to be a fan.
Yeah.
They don't want you to, so like, and
have like a preconceived notion of who they are or like a parasocial relationship.
Right. But I feel like on reality shows, it's like you're making your friends in the DMs. Mm-hmm. Like that's how you are making friends.
No, and those people slide into DMs and then those DMs become storylines on these shows.
I know.
Which I don't like. I think
that
that's a cheap ploy.
And I hate on the Housewives when it's like the women who've grown up watching Housewives join the show and are like overproducing themselves.
Yeah,
but that's
no,
what JAHnet seems like she's doing. She seems like she is self-producing herself.
But she's not doing a very good job.
I know she's not. But she is. The name on everybody's lips is going to be JAHnet. She is the center.
You do have to go, unfortunately, sometimes villain mode to get the hero edit down the line. I think it's iconic that JAHnet is so divisive and unlikable. I don't think that she's really in danger from anyone that's making threats against her.
I don't think she had to go to the Netherlands.
I don't think she had to flee.
Yeah.
I do think it's really funny to imagine someone being so angry at JAHnet of all people that they're threatening to kill her online. Like,
again, I think it's bots. It's giving bots to me.
I can't imagine being that angry at JAHnet from the Valley that you're like threatening violence to her and her family.
Well, I have to say, I learned a lesson very early on because I've been watching Housewives for years. Mm-hmm. And when Twitter first started, I was watching like Real Housewives of New York season 3. And I had maybe 10 tweets to my name. Okay. I had $10 in my pocket, 10 tweets to my name. And I tweeted, Jill, not even at, Jill Zarin is being such a bitch tonight. SMH. And one about my day. And then I see alerts on my BlackBerry Pearl. And I open it and Jill Zarin is like, I saw this and this ruined my night. Like, how could you say this? And I immediately deleted and I was like, oh my God, they can see me. I became JAHnet. I thought there were like cameras in the room. I was like, they can see me. So I did take to the internet to voice which now it was a good lesson because now it's like, I would never leave a negative comment about anyone.
No.
Like, why would you do that? What good does that do? But it was a good lesson for me to learn.
Write it, regret it. Say it, forget it.
Dorinda Medley.
Mm-hmm. That's my mantra.
Yeah.
Never write anything negative.
Totally.
Just say it on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And clip it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
being
me.
a guest on the podcast. It was truly an honor.
This was so fun.
You'll have to come back sometime.
I'd love to.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at Clayton Hawkins on Instagram or on TikTok. It's Clayton Hawkins. So ITS Clayton Hawkins.
And he's a must follow. Let me just tell you, the content is A+.
I don't stop. It's a sickness.
But you're good at it. You make it seamless and like organic, feels natural and fun.
Thank you. I mean, listen, in my job, you can't just do hair and have clients and work 7 days a week in order to be able to afford
$80 footlongs.
You have to also be a content creator. So I'm out here just trying to do it all. Okay.
Well, we love to see it. Will you help me read our cult members'
Of course I will.
names?
Yes.
Okay. We can alternate.
Sure.
I'll begin. Nadav Haviv.
Kara England.
Sexy Unique Gandalf.
Rose Rosengarten.
Ash Kelly.
One of the dolls.
Teddy the Schnauzer and Tony and Mango's Cult.
Alex Delisle.
Obviously.
Emily Vaughn.
Gina Sapienza.
Little Miss Bitch Cunt.
Sarah Elizabeth from Boston.
Lucy from London.
Brooke Johansson.
Lilia Farrell.
Brittany Rindom Weiss.
Daniel from the Brim.
Malzatov Lols.
Mary.
Katie Solon.
Diego and Darian, DC's Tom Ford couple.
Matthew Thomas.
Owlsley Robinson.
Kathy West.
Orlando.
Patron of the Farts.
Nick Sedaris.
Mr. Brandon.
Emily.
Kim Lucas.
Drone.
Drew from Toronto.
Katie the Sup Lawyer.
RJ.
Modern Counseling, McLean, Virginia.
And Jeffrey Pratima. Thank you for being part of the cult. Thank you to Clayton for being a A+ guest.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Sexy Unique Podcast is created and hosted by me, Lara Marie Shane-Halls, and co-hosted by the inimitable Carrie O'Donnell. This episode is produced by Sierra Pavia. The audio and video versions are edited by Morgan McDonald. Production and post-production services provided by Bad Ladder. Additional production assistance provided by Jen Shad.